Welcome to the Casuals over on the Challenge Sports Podcast Network. I'm your host, Kunal Kohli, joined alongside the Hebrew Hammer and our good Lord and Savior, Isis. Boys, what's new?
I have news.
Oh.
So I'm going to be an uncle, and I'm super excited.
Snaps.
But I think I'm going to be the most awkward uncle because I'm really horrible around kids. And, like, I can't even hold a puppy correctly, let alone a fucking baby. I'm going to be, like, holding it by the feet.
Yeah, my first piece of advice as an experienced uncle myself, don't drop the fucking baby.
Yeah, I'll try not to.
Isis,
Dribble it like a basketball.
Oh, God, that's fucking terrible. Isis, you got any advice for Alan as he begins his journey of unclehood?
No.
Thanks, boss.
Yeah. I mean, just like don't touch it inappropriately, I guess, and you're good.
Yeah, that's all that's the only thing we don't.
Jerry's to
we don't support that. Well, Alan, congratulations on becoming an uncle. On behalf
Why are you congratulating him? He didn't do anything.
I mean, congratulations to his brother and
there you go.
Yeah, like
honestly,
the entire family.
Elias raises a pretty good point, though. It's like I didn't do anything. Like, I wasn't the one having sex. I wasn't the one doing any of this.
I mean, you're there, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, we don't even know if Alan swimmers actually work.
Exactly.
So let alone, like, congratulating him for what? Like, he literally just sat there. Unless it is his child somehow, then you could congratulate him.
Yo, don't promote real news. My brother can't know this happened.
Well, to Alan's brother and to the entire family, on behalf of the Challenge Sports Podcast Network, congratulations. And to Alan, that's cool, man.
Thank you.
So Kurt Helin over at NBC Sports was ratioed to fucking death this week for this tweet. The coaches voting for Randall and Levine over deserving players such as Adebayo, Butler, and Middleton show they lean heavily on the season and not the playoffs / last season. To me, last playoffs have to be considered as a big factor in picking a team. Jesus, I know you got some words here.
Yeah, Kurt Helin. I've never heard of you until I saw this tweet for good reason. If I knew that I could have the shittiest takes in all of sports and still have a job in the industry and at a well-known publisher, I would have been putting out bullshit like this all the time. I mean, let's be honest. How the hell does Alan not have a job in sports right now? I mean, this is an Alan tweet, literally. I don't get how Kurt Helin has a job, and I believe that Kurt Helin should suck my nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
I had to say it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Kurt,
we
apologize. We apologize on behalf
of
the challenge.
Kunal can apologize. I don't apologize for that.
I mean, I want to disagree with you, Elias, but yeah, like this is some Hebrew Hamel level type shit. What is he thinking? Did he smoke crack before he tweeted? Like that, it's like drinking and driving. You shouldn't be doing that. This dude needs the cops on his ass. Like, come on. So, how does last season's playoffs affect this season's All-Star game? I don't get it.
Man, coaches need to look at the last few seasons for deserving All-Stars, folks.
Like, if he would have had a complete take, if he was like, yeah, I wish the All-Star voting it happened after the season ended so you can incorporate the playoffs. But last year's playoffs? Like, what if there was a rookie that was in the All-Star contention? Would they just be...
He's out.
Yeah, they're done.
Nope, it doesn't matter.
Sorry, Anthony Edwards. It's clipped.
Jesus Christ, Kurt. Dude needs to. He can't quit his day job. This is bad.
I mean, that is his day job.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna pick him up. They're gonna be like, "Show us your most recent stuff," and he's gonna show him this tweet acting like he's some big shot and he got it right, and they're gonna be like, "Wow, you're a moron." I mean,
Hey-
Kurt. I mean, why is your name even Kurt? Like, that's the worst first name you can even have.
Do you think? He,
And
like,
what is your
sat there and
thing
chose
with
his name?
basketball? Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah,
You know these reporters got fake names. Come on. He probably had a cool ass name like Steven.
yeah, his parents did really fuck him.
Low key,
Yeah,
Steven
Kurt.
Heelan is actually a hard name. Like, that is the name that hits.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
definitely a name
Yeah.
that's in sports. Like,
Yeah.
no matter what, like he was definitely destined. It was written in the
Mm-hmm.
stars for him to be talking basketball.
See the difference between Kurt Heelan and Steven Heelan? Steven Heelan's calling games. Kurt Heelan's just tweeting about them.
That's facts right there. That is facts.
I just want to know what he was thinking.
Man, he was really all about the bubble.
Like, what would it be like to take 10 minutes into his mind?
Let's just go inside the mind of a Kurt Heelan real quick.
My God.
And he must be extremely ugly too, because he doesn't even have a Abby. It's literally the most basic shit.
He doesn't want people knowing what he looks like after takes like that. Jesus, man. That guy needs help. He needs some milk.
You know who doesn't need milk though?
He needs a
Steven Heelan.
who? No. Kurt Heelan needs to jump off a bridge. Steven Heelan needs to get back in the booth.
All right, wow. Kurt, please do not jump off a bridge. Just, maybe stay off of Twitter for a few days, bud.
Yo,
Well,
Kurt,
I didn't
it's
say
all
it
love,
had to
though.
be a. I didn't say it had to be a high bridge. You've never been bridge jumping before?
No, actually, I've never been. I can't swim, so I can't go bridge jumping.
You can't
Oh.
swim.
Yeah, I can't swim. Every time I try, it just doesn't happen.
Kurt Heelan needs to jump off a regular sized bridge where he won't die. So he get some excitement in his life, get some testosterone from that adrenaline rush so that he can tweet better shit.
I think we're all in agreement.
This coming from 905 Lex. Apparently she's team boneless wing. Alan, is boneless wing even a team?
So as a guy that is all about his wings, I have nothing against boneless wings by any measure. But the fact is they're basically just chicken nuggets. They're not real wings. So the team that she's representing isn't actually a team. I'm a huge flat guy though. With that said, I don't discriminate though. I'll eat anything that's put in front of me, but flats all the way over here.
I specifically asked for the drums. I'm not a big fan of the flats. I feel like it's harder to eat. Some people say that there's more meat, but it's not flavorful meat. It's literally just white chicken in the middle. That's all the extra that you get.
I mean, it's
Unless
all
you're
dark
eating-
meat.
You need a whole technique to eat flats. Like,
You just take off the middle bone and then it's one motion.
yeah,
yeah, it's
how
just
you
too
eat
much
drums?
work.
Well, you don't have to eat the muscles and shit from the drums from the flats. That's why I like it.
It's literally so much work.
It's
Instead of just
not.
going,
I mean, your hands
It
are going to be
literally
messy
is.
no matter what. So who cares? It's just
yeah, but you got to get two hands. You got to get two hands messy with a team flat versus one with a team drum.
just have a napkin. That's all you need.
Yeah, the one wet nap that they give you
Oh, those are
that
the
is supposed to
worst.
last you for.
Yeah, those.
It's supposed to last you the whole meal. You're telling me that's what I'm supposed to clean myself with?
And it's literally so thin that you can only use it after like one wing before it's useless.
Yeah, and so I can get just like 2 fingers dirty the whole time versus getting the whole hands dirty for some wings.
I mean, to each his own, I guess, but flats all the way, man. The real ones know.
The real ones clearly don't know. I mean, the whole tweet got only 6 likes. So
It's
I guess
'cause
Team
Team
Drums will
Boneless.
win in a
That's
landslide.
because she's representing a fake team.
This is a two-party system. We're like America.
Exactly.
Drums versus flats. We don't need a third party here.
That's like someone saying like, "Oh,
No,
like
we
what's
do.
the
No. You know what America needs? It needs a third party candidate, and that's why we need Howie Hawkins in the White House in 2024.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say Gary Busey, and I was really hoping you'd say Gary
Oh.
Busey.
Can we just redo it real quick? Gary Busey can be the vice president.
I'll take it. It's Gary Busey. Boys, who would you rather make your Subway sandwich? Draymond Green or Jason Bacon Tatum? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a really stupid Subway commercial with Draymond trying to push his sandwich compared to Jason Tatum's, which has bacon on it.
We'll show it right now.
I'm Jason Tatum. Check out my Subway sub with delicious turkey and crispy bacon.
I'm Draymond Green with my Subway sub with tender steak and melty cheese.
My sub will help you put points on the board, unlike some other subs.
Why would you say that, Jason?
Hey man, I'm just talking about subs here.
Oh, come on.
My sub is gonna throw down.
My
on
sub has more rings than your sub.
you. My sub has bacon.
Yeah, so how do you guys feel about this?
Am I gonna pretend like I saw it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a
Not
great.
just
It was.
watch
No, it didn't come up on my screen. I don't know if it came up on your guys' screen.
In the cloud, dude.
Yeah, I'm team Bacon Tatum all the way.
I don't know, man. I feel like athletes need to stop doing these cheesy commercials. Like,
Yeah, like I liked Tatum a lot before this, and my respect for him went down a little bit. Like, come on, bro, Bacon Tatum. Like, can you be more corny than that?
You know what my number one rule in life is?
What?
Don't ever get in between a man and his money. Let him do him. I bet you wish you could be corny for a Subway commercial and make $1 million. You're just being a hater.
Yeah, for sure, but I'd want input on like the commercials I was in.
Maybe he did have input. Maybe that's his creativity. And I don't think that you as a creative can talk shit about another person's creativity.
That's fair. It's
I think
very
that's wrong.
subjective.
And you signed a contract when you started making a podcast. You cannot slander somebody's hustle like this. If he has a horrible take, we can slander that.
Yeah, I'm just
So
like,
let the man get his
thinking,
money.
Like, at least with like the Bill Belichick one, it wasn't just like completely corny. It was actually kind of funny. Him just like in a park eating it by himself. I mean, like that was I thought that was pretty on brand with Bill Belichick. While like this is just like jamming down corny ass shit down our throats.
do you think Jason Tatum walks around Boston and has people call him Bacon Tatum?
Maybe.
I mean, maybe he gets a kickback every time someone tweets out Bacon Tatum.
He's just sitting there on his multiple burners. Bacon Tatum, Bacon Tatum.
Bacon Tatum, yeah. He's just racking in the cash. Y'all are hating, and the man's a millionaire. Well, you guys are what, thousandaires?
Well, maybe he's too busy focusing on these dumb commercials and not busy enough trying to get W's.
It's because it's all about the bacon, man.
I guess so. Maybe he's eating way too much of it.
This next one coming from @HappyMooney2. Chris Ballard has made some great picks and built a good team, but he's pretty overrated for a guy who's built a roster that's won one playoff game so far. People pretend like he does no wrong and is a top 5 GM. He hasn't proved that at all. Isis, take it away, my friend.
I don't necessarily have that much to say about this take. If you're calling out someone's GM, like it's not that big of a deal unless they're very bad. But I'm gonna let our Homer in chief take this one away.
So, Happy Moody, I get what he's saying. Like one playoff win, I guess like the biggest, the most important thing that a GM is supposed to do is to have a team that wins games. but he completely ignored all of the context and the situation that he even inherited and had to deal with. So he inherited one of the most toxic environments that anyone can even imagine. This dude had a broken down quarterback, a putrid offensive line, no defense, and very little talent on the roster. And then he completely changed the outlook of that team in 1 year. He fixed the line. He got the right personnel. Now, if you look at it, they have a pretty damn good defense, an awesome offense with a lot of talent, and they were just a quarterback away. And yeah, I get it. Like, he won one playoff game with Andrew Luck. But then the next year, his quarterback retired in the middle of his prime, unexpectedly, and he had to deal with a backup quarterback. Like, what else was he supposed to do in that situation? And like this year, or this past offseason, I get it. Like, he maybe could have made a run at Tom Brady, and he went with Philip Rivers because he had a relationship with Frank Reich. That was probably the worst move that he made. But in general, he brought in the right coaching staff, arguably the best young coach in the entire NFL. And then he has this loaded roster with the quarterback of the future, potentially. So overall, when you look at when he inherited the team and compared to now, the team, it has a future. They're good right now, and they can compete. So that's all you can really ask for from a GM. So I don't know what this guy's problem is. I don't know how many GMs could have done what he did.
This one coming from at the Philly pod, my boy Victor Williams. Talking Eagles quarterback situation. Do you want them to draft one at number 6? Boys, are we ready to give up on Jalen Hurts?
I don't know what. Well, actually, I do know what's wrong with Eagles Twitter. They're all morons. But I've seen this a lot on the timeline where they're asking what quarterback should they take. You shouldn't take any quarterback this year, unless you're taking a quarterback in like the 5th or 6th round as like a potential backup. You're not taking a quarterback to start this year. You need a receiver bad, and you can get a prime receiver, either Jamar Chase, and Devontae Smith. I think you take one of them at 6, one of them is going to be there, and you just fill that wide receiver room up with talent. You don't need a quarterback. Let Hurts play a full season before you even cut him loose. You traded away Wentz for a reason, and that's to play Hurts. Play Hurts and see what you got. This is a stupid take, and all of the takes that Eagles fans are talking about taking quarterback is just stupid.
So I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Eagles Twitter is just the most inconsistent fan base out there. Like, how can you be so patient that you're willing to wait, 4 or 5 years to see if Wentz is any good? And then you're willing to move on from Hurts after, 4 games?
Something like that, 4 or 5 games.
Like,
wait.
Come on.
We got to make sure we got to make sure that we are correct on the amount of games that he played, because we don't want Stafford World coming at us.
Seriously.
Yeah, he's just living rent free in y'all's heads.
I just feel like it's just really ironic because like every year it's different, but usually it's never the quarterback's fault. Now it is. Last year they were saying a quarterback wasn't going to fix their problems, and now they think a quarterback's going to fix their problems. So what is it?
Now, I just want to issue a correction. He started 4 games, played in 15. But he started 4. And yeah, Eagles Twitter is incredibly toxic. I don't know why they want to give up on Jalen so early. Like, he wasn't even bad last year.
He was pretty exciting.
Yeah, like the 4 games he started, I was perfectly fine with him.
The offense seemed to work when he was in, and you can't expect him to be like throwing, I don't know, 15 touchdowns and 1 interception in those 4 games. Like, he's a rookie. He's still gonna have rookie growing pains. You got to see what you got in him. Even next season, he's gonna still have some growing pains as coming in playing 4 games. He's gonna, he needs a full 16 before you can even somewhat evaluate him. And I think getting him a good receiver and the team's not even going to be that good this year because they're in cap hell. Just see what you got in them and rebuild them. If you don't have something in them, you can get a quarterback within the next 2-3 years.
And coming into this draft or coming into this season, I think it was blatantly obvious that he was one of the more raw prospects. So he's therefore going to take more time to develop. So see if there's anything there. Maybe look at the draft the next offseason, but give the guy a chance. Don't move on from him.
Yeah, and you want to avoid another situation like what happened with Carson Wentz this year.
Yeah.
I think drafting Jalen really shook his confidence. So why repeat that, But
lightning never strikes twice.
no. But it will when they draft Jamar Chase. Please don't do this to me, Howie. At Taylor Rooks on Twitter, y'all told Devin Booker all he had to do was win. Shaking my head. Alan, you're shaking your head as well.
Yeah, and I'm shaking it because I'm just very confused with how the All-Star voting even goes. It seems like one year it's like, okay, you have to be one of the better players on a winning team. And now this year it's just, oh, you put up stats. Like, come on, don't be inconsistent with it. Tell us what the actual criteria is so we won't get pissed. Don't just have like a free-for-all voting. We all wanted to see Devin Booker play. Why the hell wasn't he voted in? I guess like he's replacing AD now, but still he doesn't get the satisfaction of actually being voted in.
Do you want to have a little lesson on how the All-Star voting works?
I mean, I know how it works, but it seems like it's very inconsistent.
Well, yeah, because it's mostly a fan vote.
Okay.
So, like, that's why it's inconsistent.
Isn't it like a third? Isn't it like a third?
No, I think the fan vote counts more.
Is that what it is? Can you back that up, Kunal?
So, how the NBA All-Star voting works, the rules are a little different from years past. I believe these past 2 or 3 years, it's been a little different. But the fan vote accounts for 50% of the total vote to determine the starters.
Oh.
The starters. Current players and media members split the other 50%. So after that, captains draft from an eligible pool of players. Based on captains are selected based on most fan votes. And since we've went from this to the captain model, conference doesn't really matter. So fan vote does play a big factor in determining that eligibility pool, that 50%. But again, it is on
just the
players.
Starters.
Yeah, just the starters. But I think that also determines the pool as well.
I could have sworn they said it was like the coaches or the media that determined the rest of the roster. But I also think that they have to do a restructure. I don't think it's fair that like Kevin Durant can play 30% of his games and still be on an all-star team, regardless of the all-star votes. I just think it's really stupid that he would even be considered for it. Like, come on, like let someone that was playing most of their games and also putting up numbers, maybe winning games, let them play. Maybe it would be their first time. And I understand that like it sounds stupid to say a guy like Kevin Durant shouldn't be an all-star, But like, let's be real. I'm not saying that he wasn't putting up numbers or having a great season. I'm just saying he wasn't available. And a lot of it wasn't his fault, but he just wasn't there. So I don't know why they would let a guy like that be on a roster.
Well, it's been a problem that's been consistent with the All-Star game. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember. I want to say it was in 2009. Allen Iverson played all of 12 games, 12 to like 30 games.
It's not fair.
No, and he got voted in. Tracy McGrady didn't even play a game, and he received votes to be in the All-Star game. He wasn't selected, but he received votes. So I think, Alan, that's a good point because, again, this has been a consistent problem with the All-Star game.
But at what point do you say, like, oh, Dwayne Wade a couple years ago shouldn't have been in the All-Star game? Like, he didn't play in all those games, and he wasn't playing at an All-Star level, but he still got in because he was in the league for so long and he was an All-Star for so long.
It seems like instead of being based on an individual seasons, it's pretty much always been based on their resume and their popularity, which I don't think is fair in general. Like, why was Chris Paul voted in over Devin Booker? That's what I don't get. Like, he was like, I get it. Like, Chris Paul, he was like the main addition and they started winning this year. So you could say maybe he's the most crucial piece on that team. But just by watching, you can tell that Devin Booker is their best player. So he should be in there. They're a good team. Why is like the more popular player making it over the guy who's objectively better and more important?
Well, it also has to do with like who's hot at the time of the voting. Like Chris Paul was hot at the time of the voting, and he's popular.
I mean, it's more based on his popularity. Like, he's still only averaging like 16, 17 points a game. Like, he's not putting up these crazy numbers. Regardless of the stretch that he was on, I don't think that's fair. I think it should be based on, I mean, like, it's only a sample of 35 games or whatever. Like, that's small enough sample right there. Why would you base it on 10 games?
I guess Kevin Heelan was right. Maybe you gotta throw in the last year's playoffs. Whatever his name is, Kurt.
Come on, put some respect on Stephen Heelan. Well, actually, we don't need to put any respect on his name. But shout out Stephen Heelan again.
I mean, like, I guess so. Maybe this could solve it. Like, maybe if you did it at the end of the year, kind of like the NFL Pro Bowl, you could do it after the playoffs, so all of the playoff team players could join in.
Yeah, but who's gonna want to do that?
Like, I get it. It's nice to have like that 2-week hiatus and the midpoint of the season. It's pretty cool, and it's always pretty fun. But I mean, like, especially this year, I could definitely see a lot of those players decline the offer to go just because they'd be that much more at risk to getting sick.
I think how you transform it to get better players on there, objectively better players, put some stakes on the All-Star game like the MLB does. I believe in the MLB All-Star game. Winner gets... No, they don't?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I believe they changed it.
They changed it? Are you kidding me? God damn it. That was like the one good... Anyways. Anyways, I do think, though, if you put stakes towards it, what those stakes be, I will let the league determine. But that's what would get objectively good players on those All-Star teams.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there has to be.
I don't think that, like, if you're going to determine something for the playoffs in an All-Star game, I don't think that's fair.
That's true. It's not fair to the Zach LaVines of the world.
Yeah, you might have a player who makes the All-Star game who's not in the playoffs, and he might have won the game for that team. You know what I'm saying?
Just make it a regular season award then. How about you could make a regular season award, and you could put like a cap on the minimum games played. So that way, like, if AD doesn't play for the rest of the year, he wouldn't make it. If KD plays half his games, he wouldn't make it. And then you would have new faces. It would be more exciting. We would have less snubs. And
Yeah, but when are you playing it?
I mean, you could do it after the year, and you could just say it's based on the regular season, and the voting could stop before the playoffs. So that way you don't have that issue.
Nobody watches the Pro Bowl for a reason. Nobody's gonna watch the All-Star game if it's at the end of the year.
I don't think it's based on. I mean, okay, that's a fair point. But I do think it would be fun because like there is an off season, and after the finals and stuff, everyone that loves basketball, you know, like they're craving basketball, and then they're thirsty as hell for the summer league to start, let alone an all-star game where all of their favorite players would play.
Yeah, but then you also like, what happens if somebody gets hurt?
I mean, you can say that at any point.
Well, I understand, but like at least if you get hurt in the middle of the year, you have time to rehab. At the end of the year, like it's literally
Well,
finals.
if you're on a good if you're on an actual good team and you get injured during an all-star game, which I'm not sure if that's ever happened before, you wouldn't have the time to recover by the playoffs, most likely, if it was significant. So I mean, no matter what, like, you have that issue.
Hurt, but if let's say somebody gets hurt and they're a free agent, then
yeah,
you're losing yourself some money just because you played in an all-star game.
I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about someone that's going to be a free agent in an all-star game where it normally is. And then you get injured, and then all of a sudden you're not going to get the bag. So I mean, that's an issue no matter what.
I got an idea here. Do you guys know who Chris Brickley is?
Nope.
So you guys know the Hoodie Mellow meme, right? And the Untucked Kyrie meme?
Of course.
Those scrimmages that they play in where Mello gets to wear the hoodie and JR gets the ball out, those are all hosted by this guy, Chris Brickley, basketball trainer. And those sessions, I think we've all seen video clips of them, absolutely legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Mid-season, you have an all-star game. I think, Alan, you're on the right track with a cap. I don't know if it should be based on. I think games played is a good thing to base it on. In the off-season, though, that's when we see the fan vote. They all play in a Chris Brickley style scrimmage. It's more intense. It's more fun to watch.
Oh, do you know what would be crazy? If you did it at like Rucker Park or like a big name park. That'd be crazy. And then you could have like straight up like 5-on-5 street ball.
That's what the league needs.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to watch that?
Adam Silver, get Chris Brickley on the phone right now. I want this organized for the offseason.
That'd be interesting. And like, I don't know who in their right mind would refuse to watch it because it's at the end of the year. I mean, that's still absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Like just a god level tournament, you know?
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. Maybe you could have like two different types of games. So, because like you ever watch an all-star game and like one of the reserves plays like 2 minutes or something, and you literally only watch the game to see that person play and they didn't. Maybe if you had like an A and B team, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just fixed the all-star game.
Boys, we did it. Adam Silver, hire us. We have solutions. Trae Young coming under fire after, what was it, like 13 break check fouls? Something crazy. Boy, has been break check fouling or drawing fouls with his break checks like crazy. He goes, I learned a lot about drawing fouls from Nash. If he says it's not basketball, he must have been saying it about himself because he's done it a couple times throughout his career and was so successful. Alan, how do you feel about Trae Young coming at your boy like that?
I mean, like when I was watching the game when Steve Nash was talking his shit when he said that wasn't real basketball. And personally, like I hate the break check foul. I think it's really, really stupid when someone's driving and the defender's behind him and the guy just literally pulls up and bodies him and gets a foul. I think that's kind of unfair. I mean, I get it. It's the rules. They get away with it, whatever. But I mean, in the heat of the moment, I thought it made sense. I thought that was very justified.
I don't see any lies here from Trae Young whatsoever. He's telling the truth. I mean, Steve Nash used to draw fouls all the time. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've watched every single Steve Nash foul, but I think Steve Nash should open up his mouth when he actually coaches his own team.
Oh, you might have to dive into that a little more, Isis.
See, you're implying that Kyrie Irving's coaching it or that D'Antoni's coaching it?
Oh, that it's a D'Antoni run team.
I think
Steve Nash just has the
heavy
title.
influence.
No, Steve Nash just has the title of head coach, but Mike D'Antoni's the one who's really pulling all the strings.
I think the system might be tied to D'Antoni's brilliance, but I do think it's Nash's team.
No, it's literally Mike D'Antoni's team slapped with a Steve Nash title.
I mean, like dating back to what Kyrie said when he first signed, when he said, it's going to be, the team is going to be, there's going to be many voices in the locker room that are judging the way this team goes. And like Steve Nash.
You know whose voice is the loudest? Mike D'Antoni, not Steve Nash.
Are you in the locker room?
Yeah, I have a bug in there.
Nice.
Isis is a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just want Steve Nash to talk his shit when he actually runs his own team. That's it. When Mike D'Antoni's on that team and he's another head coach somewhere else, that's when Steve Nash can talk his shit.
I mean, going back to the topic though, the thing is like with Steve Nash, like, yeah, he was very good at drawing fouls, but this wasn't, that type of foul wasn't one of the main moves in his arsenal. With Trae Young, he does that. He gets the call 2 to 3 times a game. He's shooting what, like 13 free throws a game? Nash was never up there. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just feel like it's a cheap move, and I feel like it's a bailout.
James Harden made a career out of it.
He did, but he wasn't doing stuff like that. Like he wasn't doing that break check type foul though. He was doing the step back.
You just don't like one type of foul. Every other one is okay.
I mean, I'm not saying, like, I'm not justifying James Harden because I actually hated watching him in Houston, but that's the type of foul I despise. Like I get it. Like when he does the step back and someone's closing out on a space, you could argue like it's an actual foul. It's just a BS foul. With this, it's just kind of like, it's just cheap. It's like fake media to me.
I mean, I think the James Harden fouls used to be cheap as hell, but that's just me. I think people should just play the game like it was intended to, and not get through some loopholes.
I mean, I
don't agree. Like, I don't like watching Trae Young do that. I don't think it's fun, but I don't think Steve Nash is out of pocket for talking shit about him.
You think he is out of pocket or not out of pocket?
No, he is out of pocket.
I mean, I get it. Like, I see both points, and like, I don't blame Trae Young for doing it. It's just that type of foul is just, it's pretty hideous to me.
I mean, I also think he's out of pocket for talking shit on another team. Like, worry about yourself.
It was in the middle of a game.
Worry about okay. Again, worry about your own team and worry about actually trying to coach your own team.
So you shouldn't be frustrated when you don't like a call in the middle of a game.
I mean, don't say what Steve Nash said. Steve Nash just comes off as a pussy, in my opinion. He seems like a little whine bitch.
I think he's taken up real estate in your head. I don't know what he did to you.
I mean, he's not. I mean, literally 6 months ago, he was a soccer analyst.
I mean, like literally every coach complains about calls. Like that's normal in the NBA.
Okay.
Every single
Like I
player
said, I
complains
still
about
think-
it
Okay, I still think Steve Nash is out of pocket.
for doing
think
what
this
every
is-
coach
I think-
does.
I think Trey Young can say the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a
I don't.
player. He's playing the game.
I mean, I don't blame either one of them. I see both sides.
Okay, but the only reason that Trey Young said it is because Steve Nash opened his mouth first.
I mean, the only reason he even had to say that was because the media had to make it a point to expand on that. Like, I didn't think it was a big deal when it actually happened. It might have just been like a in the moment thing. Like, we don't even know what Steve Nash was thinking.
Well, Isis does. He has a bug on the wall.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, he wasn't really thinking. It was a Mike D'Antoni thought.
Yeah,
so-
maybe it was D'Antoni spitting into a wire saying, yo,
Well,
get
it
mad
was.
at this.
Mike D'Antoni, you know that Plankton, that episode in SpongeBob where Plankton's in SpongeBob's head and he's controlling him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what Mike D'Antonio is in Steve Nash's head.
You guys heard it here first from the bright mind of Isis.
This tweet coming from @DeanScorpion_. I feel like Brandon Ingram is better. So he had a photo of Brandon Ingram being greater than Jason Tatum and says, I feel like this would be the consensus if BI played on a good team. Boys, this take.
So, like, think about it. Why hasn't Brandon Ingram been on a good team? Is he part of the problem? Is he putting up empty stats? Is he a guy that's just putting up numbers because he's a volume scorer on a bad team? That's probably it. So to say that, yeah, so I don't really understand the take. I mean, Jason Tatum, I guess, like, he's younger. So maybe you could say that Brandon Ingram is more developed. But Jason Tatum, he's a walking bucket. He's a great defender. Not saying that Brandon Ingram isn't necessarily. But I do think his scoring is in question because it seems like every single time there's a big moment, he's never the guy that's showcasing his talent. While with Jason Tatum, seems like that dude's always the guy that's hitting the big shots. He's always the guy that's making the headlines. So I mean, maybe if Brandon Ingram's teams were better, maybe he'd be getting the same limelight. But how about you blame Brandon Ingram for that? Maybe he has to take accountability for not being on a good team. He definitely has the talent surrounding him.
The reason why the Celtics are good is because Jason Tatum is good. Like, that's literally, without Jason Tatum, that team isn't as good as it is.
They have a losing record.
Yeah, they're not that great right now. But that
Okay,
said,
but
I
they're
feel the
st-
energy.
they're still a good team though. They like, this is a different year and it's COVID. I don't want to get into that, but
I think, well, going back, I think they'll be fine. I just think it's funny to make fun of them.
okay. So what he's basically saying is BI needs good players around him so that he's not the number one option in order for him to be good. If you have to be the second or third option on a team in order for you to be good, then you're not good.
Yeah, and more talent around him means less shots to get up, meaning his numbers are not going to look as great as they do now.
Alrighty, according to Curry Piston, LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love was a super team. It should be common knowledge. And the kid's a LeBron fan. Was Kyrie, Love, Kyrie, Love, and LeBron, were they a super team, boys? Alan, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I'll go. So like on paper, yeah, I guess you could say it's a super team. But once the games actually started, we all knew that Kevin Love wasn't that guy. people said that he was taking a back seat like Chris Bosh, but Chris Bosh was doing a little bit of everything. Kevin Love, he was basically just a spot-up three-point shooter. His post game was absolutely non-existent throughout his Cleveland career, and he was a liability on defense. He was hard to even put on the floor. So, no, I don't think that was a super team.
Yeah, the thing with that team wasn't even close to being a super team. It was literally just LeBron and Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Love would just disappear throughout games, all the time that they were together. Yeah, he had that one nice defensive stand against Steph Curry. It's like, okay, you trade all those players, you pay him all that money for one defensive stop. Cool. Kevin Love was just a liability, and like you said, a spot up shooter. Literally, that's what he was.
And
you could literally put anybody in that role.
And like he would have a couple games where he'd be putting up numbers, and a lot of people would be looking at those. But the thing was, like, he was putting up single digit games. He was putting up games under 20 points. And for a guy that should have been considered a star, if it's really a super team, his production was just not there. It was completely lacking. So in theory, when it first happened, I guess you could have considered that to be a super team. But once the game started, no, definitely not.
This one coming from at MKE only. AD is a Walmart Bobby Portis. I love this tweet. I love it.
It's a fact, though.
Bobby Portis is a dog, man. Straight up. He told me himself.
I mean, the thing that really makes AD the Walmart version, though, is that Bobby Portis brought this intensity. AD just doesn't have that. He doesn't have the it factor. Bobby Portis, if he's not feeling one of his teammates, he'll punch him right in the face.
How many teammates has AD punched? Zero.
None. He won't even shave his unibrow.
No.
He won't even play center.
He won't even play center. Bobby Portis, he'd be fine with playing any position, even if it wasn't a fit for him.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Whatever it is that the team needs, Bobby Portis is going to do. You know, AD could be playing center, helping out the Lakers, but he just refuses to do so. I mean, I've never seen a player say, I'm not going to play one position in a positionless basketball. It's kind of crazy, AD, and now he's got a calf strain and being a little bitch about it. He's been pretty lazy all year.
And speaking of injuries, of injuries, there's only 3 things guaranteed in life. There's death, there's taxes, and there's AD being a game time decision.
That doesn't happen with Bobby Portis.
Yeah, it doesn't happen with him.
He's a dog. Like I said, like he said, through and through, he a dog. AD,
it's a fact.
Not a dog.
The fact that only got 2 retweets is pretty ridiculous to me.
MKE only. You received the casuals seal of approval.
He gets the crown.
Well, you're saying his name wrong.
Am I?
It's MKE only.
Sorry, MKE only.
Yeah.
Put some respect on his name, dude.
Sorry, MKE only. I respect the beer handshake America emojis. That's not even that's a fucking reindeer.
It's not even a reindeer. It's a
buck.
buck.
And he supports the troops.
And Kunal's not even showing his face now.
Come on, bro.
I'm done. I quit.
Unbelievable.
I fucking quit. I'm done with this bullshit. MKE only. You can be the host of this shit. I'm done. I like AD. I'm not a dog. So we saw LeBron call Devin Booker the most disrespected player in the league. This one coming from @BucksPleaseWin on Twitter. It's Chris Middleton, not Booker. Booker is third after LaMelo and Middleton. Is Booker third?
Well, I mean, I don't know how LaMelo is literally second, he said. When Bleacher Report, all he do is suck on the man's nuts. And LaMelo could literally dribble the ball, literally just go, and that is a Bleacher Report highlight. So he's
look at the handles from LaMelo.
Yeah, LaMelo's so crazy. LeVar Ball. LaMelo Ball.
Why is his brother
like,
not
okay.
signed?
Yeah. But yeah, Chris Middleton, yeah, I mean he's a respectable player. He's a decent player, but to say that he's better than Booker is sus. And I think Twitter should suspend his account for 24 hours until or at least until he deletes that dumbass tweet.
Yeah, I don't see. I understand that. Like, I mean, looking at it, when he put LaMelo, like he might just be trolling. But then we looked at his profile, and he's a Bucks fan, and then he started backing up his claims. So I guess it's not completely trolling. And the thing that makes his tweet completely incorrect is the fact that Chris Middleton was voted in last year. Devin Booker can't say that. They didn't disrespect him last year. Devin Booker has been disrespected his entire career from this voting. So yeah, I would agree with LeBron in this case.
I think this tweet is inciting violence and should be taken down immediately.
It's scary hours out here.
Yep. Someone's gonna storm the Bucks practice facility, and people are going to lose their lives because of this tweet.
He's inciting violence against Adam Silver.
And before we say goodbye, I just want to shout out Christian Wood real quick. He shouted us out on Twitter, tweeting casuals. Shout out Christian Wood. You're the man. We love you. On behalf of the casuals, I'm your host, the Chief Kunal Kohli, joined alongside the Hebrew Hammer, Alan Ross, Isis, Elias Makloof. Catch us Fridays on the Challenge Podcast Network, on Spotify, on Anchor, on Google Podcasts, or on YouTube. Deuces.